This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Cody. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy today is a icon in basketball. He's 39 years old today. He was a legend in the NBA, playing for the Toronto Raptors and the Miami Heat, among others. He was an icon. He was part of the great 2003 NBA draft. That had so many great players and all that. He was the face of the Raptors for a while, and then he went to Miami. A sign and trade, and then formed a big three with Dwayne Wade and LeBron to try to win titles, which he won a couple of times. But Bosh, his time in the sun was big in 2021, being elected to the Basketball Hall of Fame. And yes, that is Chris Bosh. Oh my Bosh. And I know he's in a Raptors jersey if you are watching this instead of listening to it. But, Chris Bosh is still a Raptors icon, even if he won 2 titles with Miami. Anyway, so Bosh was born in Dallas, Texas. And he was taking basketball very seriously. He excelled at school and would be part of the National Honor Society, which is good. He helped Lincoln High School in Dallas become the #1 team in the country when he was. He looked pretty good. A lot of colleges were recruiting him. Florida and Memphis were making big overtones to him. But it was Georgia Tech who helped him out. So Georgia Tech did it. Well, his cousin and his aunt went to Georgia Tech. So he actually studied graphic design and computer imagery. And then management. In college, he would help Georgia Tech out decently as a freshman. Bosh actually intended to complete his degree, but by his freshman season in 2003, his strong performances convinced him he was ready for the NBA. So he left Georgia Tech after 1 year and entered the 2003 NBA draft. So that was just huge, how he only played 1 year for GT. And of course, one of the strongest draft classes in NBA history, although 96 would be trying to say, hold my beer. It was huge. You got LeBron James, the #1 pick, Carmelo Anthony, the #3 pick, and Dwayne Wade, the #5 pick. In between were the Toronto Raptors, who went #4, and they went with Bosh instead of Dwayne Wade. So this was huge. But people wanted Bosh, and they knew Toronto needed a veteran scorer, and Vince Carter almost wanted to be traded. So yeah. But anyway, as a rookie, he was a power forward, but as a rookie, he was forced to play center because Antonio Davis was then traded to the Bulls. No, he had a lot of heart and all that. I mean, after all, he wasn't really a center. He did lead all rookies in rebounding and blocks, and was named to the all-rookie first team. Anyway, Bosh was the new leader of Toronto, mostly when Vince Carter left in 2004 for the Nets. So anyway, he improved himself. And Bosh was just Toronto's main focus and all that. In 2006, he was part of the All-Star game, which made him the third Raptor after Vince Carter and Antonio Davis to make the thing. Unfortunately for Bosh, he got hurt, and the Raptors hit the skids to end the year. This meant, Bosh's importance as a centerpiece in the offense. Bosh would sign a 3-year deal in 2006. 4 years, with an option for 4 years, but it was 4 years, $65 million, so that was like $50 million a year. Bosh would help the Raptors make the playoffs in 2007 and win the division, which was great. Unfortunately, though, the Nets would take him out in the first round of the playoffs. And of course, Vince Carter was just, Vince Carter. I didn't have that Toronto had a sucky 17-24 road record. Anyway, so Andrea Bargnani was made to be center for the #1 as the #1 pick in 2006. So that meant Bosh would be up to power forward. Jason Capono was added for firepower. And they were hoping for a Capono, Bargnani, Bosh big three. Sadly, though, it didn't work out. Bosh had a slow start. Capono didn't really do that well. And Bargnani, well, he was Bargnani. He did have the Raptors make the 2008 playoffs, but they lost to the Magic. The Raptors would pull off a big blockbuster trade before the 2008-09 season, getting Jermaine O'Neal from the Pacers. Bosh actually came off an Olympic gold medal with the Americans, so he knew what he was talking about. So anyway, it was just true terrible stuff and all that. Unfortunately, the Raptors would then trade Jermaine O'Neal to Miami for Shawn Marion. Nothing helped. Bosh was almost on his way out. I mean, Toronto wasn't doing so well, and people thought Bosh was going to leave after the 2010 season. The Raptors missed out on a playoff berth by 1 game to the Bulls. And it just didn't work out that way. Anyway, so there was speculation. Bosh didn't know what to think about it. But on July 10, 2010, the Raptors signed Bosh, but then they traded Bosh to Miami in a sign-in trade. The Raptors got 2 2011 first-round picks, which was pretty cool and all that. Norris Cole and Jonas Valanciunas were the ones selected with the first-round picks. But Valanciunas were Norris Cole. I think that the Raptors didn't take Norris Cole. I think in a sense that he was he selected by the Raptors? I don't think so. No, through a series of draft night deals, the Bulls drafted him, and then he ended up on Miami. But anyway, yeah. Bosh was part of the super team. He did give a good message to Raptor fans. All that. Raptors were not really upset with him leaving. All that. Bosh tried to help Miami win the 2011 championship. They got to the final, but lost to Dallas. But Bosh would be a key part of the Raptors. The Heat winning back-to-back titles in 2012 and 2013. Anyway, it was huge and all that. Bosh actually blocked a key shot in Game 6 of the 2013 championship against the Spurs. Anyway, he got back to the finals in 2014 with the Heat, but they lost to the Spurs in 5. So anyway, Bosh would re-sign with the Heat for 5 years, $118 million. Of course, Miami lost LeBron going back to Cleveland. Bosh would have some troubles and all that. He was actually admitted to a Miami hospital for lung tests, and he actually had a blood clot in one of his lungs. But he would come back to start the 2015-16 season. But then he would have another blood clot in his leg. And it looked like he was going to miss out because of the recurring blood clots and all that. So anyway, Bosh could not play for the 2016 season. And he was optimistic coming back to the Heat for the 2016-17 season. Unfortunately, blood clotting would be bad for him. He failed his physical and couldn't participate in training camp. By 2017, Bosh had an agreement that he could leave the Heat without his salary eating up the team's salary space. And then June 2017, the NBA ruled that Bosh's blood clotting issues were a career-ending illness, meaning the Heat would be allowed to remove his contract once they officially released him. And they did. that he had to waive him. He spent 7 years with the organization. And unfortunately, his health problems just ruined it. Meanwhile, Miami did decide to retire his number 1 jersey. So yeah, Bosh's number 1 has been retired by the Heat. Wish he were number 4 with Miami. That would have been decent. But anyway, he did play from 2003 to 2004 to 2016, playing 893 career games, 19.2 points per game, 8.5 rebounds. He was decent. All that. Too bad that his Miami career just had to end so horribly. 7 years with Toronto, 6 years with Miami. In the playoffs, he would be big with Miami, winning 2 titles and going to 2 more as a player. Those were the only 4 times he got to the playoffs with the Heat, is getting to the finals. 15.6 points per game, 7.5 rebounds per game. He did play for the 2008 Olympic team in Beijing and did pretty well for himself. So yeah, he played power forward, and boy, did he do well. 2-time NBA champion, 11-time All-Star, All-NBA second team in 2007, the rookie team in 2004, winning gold medal with Team USA at the Olympics, third youngest player in NBA history to hit 1,000 rebounds, Toronto's first player to get 10,000 points, Toronto's all-time leader in rebounds, both offense and defense, rebounds per game, blocks, free throws made in a season and a career, and double-doubles. Okay. So, anyway, yeah. Chris Bosh has done some great job with the Chris Bosh Foundation. Boys and Girls Clubs of Canada as well. Bosh has a wife and 5 children, 3 sons, 2 daughters. He dabbled in hip-hop production. And it really worked out that way. There was a fraternity lawsuit and all that. But, you know, it didn't work out that way. Didn't matter. So anyway, Chris Bosh was an icon to Toronto Raptor fans like myself. Even though he went to Miami, even though he won 2 titles and all that, even though his numbers were retired by the Heat, don't flies on me. I think Raptor fans loved Chris Bosh. And, you know, the mid-2000s were lean time to be a Raptor fan because it seemed like we couldn't get anything done right. And that's all there is to it. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.